Hi, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our picks and your picks, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Sunday, January 7th, NBA for us today. A couple college games out there, but we're not on anything college-wise. So we'll get right into the heart of the NBA. For your first game up, Spurs at the Cavs. The Spurs are almost impossible to bet, like as team-wise, unless you're just betting against them every game on that one. The one thing that we do focus on with the Spurs is a lot of times there's a lot of player props that are available, and mainly Wemby, and we've got 5 Wemby props that we're on today. So Wembayamba over 18.5 points, over 1.5 3-pointers made, over 8.5 rebounds, over 2.5 blocks, and over 2.5 turnovers. We normally like Jarrett Allen quite a bit as well for the Cavs, but his numbers have kind of skyrocketed here as of late. And we're not quite sure if Wemby's going to be guarding him down low or if that's going to affect anything in there. So we're going to stay away from the Jarrett Allen one, but we are on Wemby props to start off today as they get started at the same time as NFL football. So Wemby over 18.5 points, over 1.5 3-pointers, over 8.5 rebounds, over 2.5 blocks, and over 2.5 turnovers, because if you're 8 foot tall, you turn the ball over a lot if you take one dribble. So pretty easy on that one, right? Next game up, Nets at the Trailblazers. Here is the best way to bet the Trailblazers. When they're on the road, bet against them. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take the Nets, -2.5 first quarter, -5 first half, -8.5 for the game. Mikal Bridges over 20.5 points. Cam Thomas coming off the bench over 15.5 points. Cam Johnson, who's been on a roll three-pointer-wise, we're going to continue that roll, over 2.5 3-pointers made. He had 3 in the first half in the last game. It went 3 for 4, then 0 for 6 in the second half. It normally gets to 3 pretty quickly as they set him up pretty well on the offensive side of the ball. Then we're also going to take Anthony Simons over 2.5 turnovers. And the Nets over the 117.5 team total. So one more time, the Nets -2.5 first quarter, -5 first half, -8.5 for the game. And then we're also going to take Mikal Bridges over 20.5 points, Cam Thomas over 15.5 points, Cam Johnson over 2.5 3-pointers made, Anthony Simons over 2.5 turnovers, and the Nets over 117.5 team total. That's how we're going to wrap up that Nets Trailblazers game. Next game up, Pelicans at the Kings. Kings are fantastic at home. That's the reason here. Pelicans struggle a little bit on the road. Pelicans have played pretty good ball, though. If you've really been paying attention, the Pelicans have done really well as of late. They beat the T-Wolves, which is not an easy thing to do, as the T-Wolves have the best record in the West. They've really come along. They have a few different weapons, and it seems to pass around almost every game on who's going to be scoring and stuff of that nature. So a little tough to get those player props correct on there, but the Pelicans have been playing well. That being said, we are on the Kings today because at home they've been awesome. Now, I will say this. De'Aaron Fox, the last 2 games, has absolutely fell on his face. It looks to me like he's injured, but they're not saying anything. And normally in the NBA, when these guys are hurt, they sit. But Sabonis has been on an absolute monster as of late, rebounding the ball, and also triple doubles. So we'll get into this one. Kings -1 first quarter, -2 first half, -3.5 for the game. Sabonis over 21.5 points, over 13.5 rebounds, over 7.5 assists, and recorded triple double. He was like plus 250 ish on DraftKings for a triple double, and he's been rolling those up as of late. We're also going to take Malik Monk over 15.5 points and over 2.5 3-pointers. Is that outside scoring needs to come from somewhere since Fox has not really been putting it up on that one. Then the Kings over the 119.5 team total as well on that one. So one more time, Kings -1 first quarter, -2 first half, -3.5 for the game. Then a bunch of Sabonis props over 21.5 points, over 13.5 rebounds, over 7.5 assists, and a recorded triple double. Malik Monk over 15.5 points and over 2.5 3-pointers made. And then the Kings over that 119.5 team total in that one. Let's see. Next game up is going to be Hawks Magic. Hawks favored by 2 on the road, like 238 total. It looks like Franz Wagner's going to be out again. We love Paulo Banchero, but his point total is ballooned up to basically 30. So we're going to stick away from that one. So we just got a couple player props in this game. Banchero over 1.5 3-pointers made, and that on that one. And then Capella over 10.5 rebounds at plus money on FanDuel. So one more time, Banchero over 1.5 3-pointers made, and Capella over 10.5 rebounds on that one there. Next game up is going to be the Timberwolves at the Mavs. Now, normally we would be probably all over the T-Wolves in this one, but the Mavs do play extremely well at home. Looks like Luka's going to be back. T-Wolves kind of took it in the shorts against the Pelicans here out lately. So we're going to roll just with some player props in this particular matchup. We do love Gobert over 12.5 points, over 12.5 rebounds, and over 1.5 blocks on DraftKings. Now, it is heavily juiced to like minus 160, but well worth the play, as he's normally a 2-block-a-game machine, if not 3 or 4. Anthony Edwards over 2.5 threes and over 30.5 points, as he has kicked up the scoring quite a bit here in the last couple weeks on that one. And then we're also going to take Luka over 4.5 turnovers, as they do. The T-Wolves have a great defense, and they turn everybody over quite a bit. And then the Mavs under the 115.5 team total. So one more time in that T-Wolves Mavs game, we've got Rudy Gobert over 12.5 points, over 12.5 rebounds, over 1.5 blocks. Anthony Edwards over 2.5 threes and over 30.5 points. Luka over 4.5 turnovers, and then Mavs under the 115.5 team total. Next game up, Grizzlies at the Suns. There is hardly anything out player prop wise for this one. We necessarily don't like the line or the total, or don't have a lot of value there. But one play that is available right now on DraftKings is Devin Booker over 2.5 turnovers, heavily juiced, like minus 145. But Booker is a turnover machine, and the Grizzlies do have a good D. So we do like Booker to turn the ball over more than 2.5 times. And we will probably, like I said, at the end of every show that we do, in the comment section, there is a link to the Google Sheets. That's a ledger of all of our bets. Juice, we got them at, how many units, book we placed them at, and then obviously the result. There probably will be more stuff we put on that particular game, so make sure you do check out those Google Sheets to see what we've updated those for, bet-wise. Next game up, looks like Pistons at the Nuggets. Pistons getting 16.5, 17 in Denver, 235 total. I think the number's too high for the Nuggets, but I hate to sit there and bet on the Pistons on this particular one. We do have some player props that we do like, and they normally revolve around, anytime it's the Pistons, you can bet probably Cade Cunningham is in there somewhere. He is their best player. I don't think there's much question about it on that one, but we do like Cunningham over 23.5 points, over 2.5 3-pointers made. This is normally higher, but it is, you do get some good plus money here. It looks like over plus 140 on FanDuel. And then Porter over 2.5 threes, because he's a 3 monster at home. And then Jokic over 2.5 turnovers. So one more time in that Pistons-Nuggets game, Cunningham over 23.5 points, over 2.5 3-pointers made, Jokic over 2.5 turnovers, and then Porter over 2.5 3-pointers made. Next game up is going to be Raptors Warriors. Not a ton out on this particular game as of yet either. A lot of questions on who's going to play for the Warriors besides Steph Curry. We do have a couple plays. We'll be adding more, I'm sure. But Scotty Barnes over 20.5 points. And then Jakob Poeltl over 8.5 rebounds, as the Warriors are definitely not in the, they're in the bottom 10 rebounding-wise. So Barnes over 20.5 points and Poeltl over 8.5 rebounds. And that was plus money on FanDuel, so make sure you pick up that plus money as well. Next game up, and the last game of the night, Clippers, Lakers. Both, obviously, they both share the same court, so I don't know if there's really a home team or road team. You will see some Lakers colors out there. We love the Clippers. They've been on a monster roll. They have seemed to get figured out on how James Harden not to destroy their team and rather contribute. So we do like the Clippers here. Clippers minus 1.5 first quarter, minus 2.5 first half, and minus 5 for the game. And I will say this as well. The Lakers have lost 9 out of their last 11, and they are struggling. I don't know if they went minutes overload for the in-season tournament or not, like some people are saying, but they are definitely struggling along the way here on that one. So we also like Paul George over 23.5 points and over 3.5 threes. The three-point defense for the Lakers is a problem. Their interior defense, I think, is really strong with Anthony Davis, who's had a monster season, putting up more points than he has quite some time. He's 13, 14-plus rebounds a game, and he's been blocking 2 to 5 shots a game on a regular basis. But the Clippers, they have a lot of mid-range shooters, and they have a lot of three-point shooters I think that can really bother the Lakers here. So Anthony Davis, though, we do like as well, over 12.5 rebounds and over 2.5 blocks. James Harden, we're going back to the well, over 2.5 turnovers. This cash is about an 80% clip. It missed on the last game, but we'll go back to it. We should hit it. And then the Clippers over 118.5 team total. So one more time in this Clippers-Lakers matchup to finish out the NBA night. Clippers minus 1.5 first quarter, minus 2.5 first half, minus 5 for the game. Paul George over 23.5 points, over 3.5 three-pointers made. Anthony Davis over 12.5 rebounds and over 2.5 blocks. We're staying away from his point total here. I don't know if he's going to get to 30. Wouldn't surprise me if he did. Just not a ton of value being left there on the bone. And then James Harden over 2.5 turnovers and Clippers over 118.5 team total. So like I mentioned before in this show, at the end of every show that we do, there is a link to the Google Sheets that is a ledger of all of our bets. It's docs.google.spreadsheet, a bunch of other stuff behind it. Just click into there. That'll get you into our bets. Now, there is 4 sections once you get in there, just to give you a little tutorial. There's football last year, there's baseball last year, there's football this year, and basketball this year. So if you wanted to check out the football bets as well, you can do that all by clicking into those Google Sheets, and you can see where we're at. We've had fantastic season of baseball, football, and basketball. Basketball, we're up over 2,200 units. Football, we're closing in on 3,000 units up. Baseball was over 7,500 units for the season. So a lot of opportunities to make money there. We are valuing better. We understand not everybody's going to play as many bets as we do. That's okay. The big thing is try to match them up with your bets and give you that ton of confidence you need heading to the betting app or betting window. And lastly, if you could subscribe and get notifications to our YouTube channel, so when we drop our bets, you get those first. Makes life really simple. Once you subscribe and turn those notifications on, you'll get a notification to your phone or device to let you know we've dropped a new video. And we try to put those out early enough to give you plenty of time to match them up with your bets, and let's make some money, right? So that's what we're all here for. I do appreciate everybody's support as always, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.